November 27th is going to be a runoff. It was Cindy Hyde-Smith and Mike Espy who got the two highest vote totals in on November 6th, and they are trying to replace Thad Cochran, of course, who retired for health reasons. Now, Mississippi has the highest concentration of African Americans of any state in the country, 37 to 40%. Now, the race again is between Cindy Hyde-Smith, who was appointed to replace Thad Cochran, as well as Mike Espy. Now, here's the piece. Whoever wins the most votes on November 27th, they win the remaining term of Thad Cochran. So right now, let's go to Mike Espy, who joins us from Mississippi. How you doing, doctor?
Hey, Roland. Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for having me on your show.
So I hear your voice is a little hoarse. That means you've been talking a whole lot across Mississippi trying to get folks to vote. So first and foremost, your opponent, she still refuses to apologize for her ridiculous comment about if she was invited to a public hanging, she'd be sitting there on the front row. That comment is just stunning, not because she's running against an African-American, but for her to say that, well, that's what you say when you hold someone in essentially high regard. I don't know anybody who I hold in high regard. I'm going to say, let's go to a public hanging.
Hey, Roland, I'm 64 years old. I was born and raised in Mississippi. I thought I heard every Southern colloquialism ever to be uttered, but I confess to you, I've never heard anything about any sort of public hanging. So I mean, you know, it was shocking. It was ugly. It was disappointing, harmful, really harmful, because it reinforces all these negative stereotypes that people like myself, people like us, we've tried to overcome these. And so here you go. It's 2018. We're about going into the third decade of the 21st century. We got to revisit all of this, and it's just wrong.
When we talk about critical issues in Mississippi, you have been not focused on the issue of you being black, her being white. You haven't even been focusing on Trump and the caravan, what's happening in D.C. You really stuck to core issues affecting the state. How do you believe that that is going over in Mississippi with the voters there, black and white?
Going over very well, because we saw the results of it Tuesday a week ago. You know, we essentially are tied with Cindy Hyde-Smith. Even though she got support of President Trump, the governor, you know, the leadership of the U.S. Senate, who are Republicans, and a lot of the corporate support, we tied her 41-41, even though she outspent us 5-1. And I did that based on focusing on the issues. In Mississippi, the number one issue in Mississippi, as it is across the country, is all about health care. You know, we had 5 rural hospitals to have announced their bankruptcy or their closing within the last 4 months. And that is because the leadership of our state did not accept the Medicaid expansion money that was offered to them under the tenure of President Obama. So now those chickens are coming home to roost. You know, there's uncompensated care, and those hospitals that used to have that little piggy bank of the Medicaid money, that piggy bank now is bare. There's also the issue, you know, of our pre-existing conditions, whether hypertension, heart disease, you know, diabetes, obesity. When you go to the doctor now, you know, because the vote lost by 1 vote, and Cindy Hyde-Smith voted against it, there's now a fear of insurance companies now in Mississippi denying you coverage based on your pre-existing illness, and that affects black, white, young, old, whatever gender. And so those are the issues that I've been focusing on, and those are the issues that are resonated with the people here, which is why we did so well.
But how do you get white people, broke as hell white people, to understand that they literally are voting against their own economic interest when they vote for Republicans who want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, who don't want to have Medicaid expansion? This is not just Mississippi. We've seen this in North Carolina. We've seen this in Alabama. Look, in Kentucky, they elected a Tea Party governor. They voted for Donald Trump, and these broke white folks are crying and saying, oh, my God, I hope they don't touch my Affordable Care Act. I'm like, what the hell y'all thinking?
Well, Roland, you do it. You have to go to them where they are. You have to explain to them, you know, that they can't vote for issues that are alien to their interests. And, you know, we've done this before. We've made this uphill climb before. When I ran for Congress in 1986, I was 30 years old. And we won in a district that was about 50% black population, right? But if you discount for voting age and registration, it was more like 47%. So we won that district then in 1986 with 85% of the black vote, but 11% of the white vote. So when I ran again, I ran in 86, 88, 90, 92. I never lost a race for Congress. We won that last race with 95% black and 40% white. And that difference between 11 and 40 was all about service. They know that I'll represent them, whether they're white or black, whatever the income issue is, they just know that I would represent them, and I'll do the same thing here. So now it's been 20 years since I've run for anything, and some of them have forgotten me. So now it's just my job and the job of my campaign to go to them and just say, look, when your child, the pathway to success is through the college door. Don't you want to have someone to help you have your child get through that college door without inordinate debt? And when they graduate from that college, whether it's Ole Miss, Mississippi State, or Jackson State, or wherever, don't you want to make sure they graduate with no student debt or very little debt? So, at some point, this message is going to break through. It already has because, Roland, I can't win with black votes alone. I have to have enough crossover votes to do it. And we saw record crossover votes Tuesday before last. So I think we're going to do all right.
You have to have crossover votes, but let's just be honest. You need a massive black turnout. That is 80, that first of all, bare minimum is 80% in those counties, really 85, 90. What are you doing to do that? What are the boots on the ground? What is the turnout plan? How are you reaching these folks? Because the other problem is you got a short window. The election is, of course, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. And so, frankly, a lot of people are tuning out beginning next Tuesday, if you will. And then the problem is the election is a week later.
Well, we have to first make sure that they understand that it's okay to have Thanksgiving and celebrate your families and praise the Lord for what He's given all of us. But don't get lazy, okay? You got to get up and you got to come out that next succeeding Tuesday and come and vote for your future and go ahead and dispatch your civic obligation. So you asked me how we're going to get out the black vote, and I agree with you. We got to have a massive black turnout. So I think we will do it in 4 ways, just as we did it, a week ago last Tuesday. One is really, sort of what Doug Jones did in Alabama. One is using the iPads and going into the neighborhoods, canvassing, who's in the house, their propensity to vote, how long it's been since they voted, what cereal they had that morning. We know all of that, and we have a large team of canvassers that have really been out the last 2 weeks, in that mechanism. So that's the new school. Then, of course, you can't forget the old school. That's going through the political leaders, and I know the NAACP is nonpartisan, but we do have people who are NAACP members who are also, advocating for us and doing that on their own time. So, and then other groups, the fraternities, sororities, the Masons, the Eastern Stars, they're all out there for me. The third thing you have to do is, of course, the churches. We have a large contingent of churches with pastors that are already and invigorated, and again, are poised to tell their parishioners and those in their church, do not forget about voting for Mike Espy on the 27th. And then the last thing is Cindy Hyde-Smith, what she said to stir up the vote. She said it, about these public hangings. So no one is going to forget that. She has incited passions in the black community like you've never seen before. And they're not going to forget that. And I think she's going to be sorry she said that.
Last question for you. You have a big debate taking place on Tuesday night there in Jackson, Mississippi. What is going to be your focus? What are you trying to get accomplished in that debate?
Well, I'm going to answer every question that they're asking, because I'm not sure what those questions will be. But I just want to make sure everyone listening on understands that I'm very competent. I'm very experienced. I completely understand the issues. It's at at a farm center, and you're going to be debating the guy who was United States Secretary of Agriculture. So I'm very familiar with those issues. But beyond that, we're going to talk about education, health care, student debt. They want to talk about global issues. We'll be ready for those too. But I want to tell everybody that I don't care about your gender, about your race, about your sexual orientation or your disability, your religion, even your party. I don't care. I'm a Democrat. I am, but I'm a small I independent Democrat. I will be accessible to everyone. I'll be independent. No one can tell me how to vote or who to see. And I'm just whatever I can do to promote the interests of Mississippi first. That's what I'm going to do, and that's my position in this debate. and what I'm going to try to bring across.
Well, I'll be in Mississippi on Monday. The Be Woke Vote folks, of course, our effort is to encourage as many people to vote as possible. So we'll be on the ground Monday, and then of course let Pastor Jerry Young know that I'll be there speaking to those pastors. He's assembling on Tuesday at 11 a.m. There in Jackson as well. He asked me to say a few words, and so we certainly will be there as well. So we'll be doing Roland Martin Unfiltered from Mississippi on Monday and Tuesday, and so we look forward to being there and seeing what takes place. Mike Espy, we certainly appreciate you coming on the show. Good luck, and drink some hot water, lemon, and honey to save that voice.
Thank you, brother. I look forward to seeing you, and I'll be there with Jerry Young. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Hey, fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications.